a land that makes up 90% of all the ice on our planet, where a miasma of biting cold wind dreads life, where, over the years, ships have sunk, cities have lost, and civilizations have been wiped out, holds some of the darkest, yet most interesting tales of the ages the Earth has lived through. Antarctica, the coldest continent with freezing temperatures, barren lands, and extremely harsh conditions, is immensely inhospitable for the survival of humans. But it has always enraptured men, for they have wanted to find out what lies beneath the giant sheets of ice. As science advances and bolsters men's capabilities to reach the unreachable and achieve the unachievable, we continue to succeed in arriving at one of the most perilous corners of the Earth and revealing the secrets that have been held captive for long. Though there is still a lot more to be revealed, in this video, we bring to you 10 mysterious things frozen in the Antarctic ice. Watch till the end, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more intriguing videos. 10. Singing ice. In 2014, scientists installed a bunch of seismic sensors on the Ross Ice Shelf, the largest in Antarctica, almost the size of France. In a serendipitous event, it was discovered at the end of 2 years that the giant ice slab was continuously singing. According to scientists, when the wind blows across the rough surface of the shelf, called the firn layer, it interacts with the roughness to produce the vibrations. This results in a series of continuous seismic tones. The frequency, however, changes with variations of environmental conditions on the ice shelf. This series of tones resemble a melancholic clone, said Julian Chaput, a mathematician and geophysicist, spoke to NBC News Map, describing sound as a little like yodeling, except with 10 people all singing in dissonance. It's a little eerie. Never experienced the icy wilderness to trap melody in it, right? 9. The Blood Falls. Helicopter and cruise ship voyages to the Ross Sea grant access to a completely eerie sight that can easily blow away one's mind. A gush of blood-red water flowing out of the Taylor Glacier into Lake Bonner. First discovered in 1911 when scientists found the surrounding cliffs stained red, the outlandish phenomenon continues to be a matter of intrigue until lately, when the cause behind the phenomenon was finally unveiled. Researchers uncovered the fact that the Blood Falls is fed by a saltwater lake which has now been completely cut off from the atmosphere due to the formation of glaciers at the top of that. Buried 400 metres below sea level, the lake has become saltier than seawater and hence cannot freeze. The water is bereft of sunlight and oxygen and is enriched with iron. Therefore, as soon as it comes in contact with air, finding its way through a fissure in the glacier, the iron oxidizes, imparting the water the hue of blood. 8. Rainforest. Rainforest is probably the last thing to cross your psyche while discussing Antarctica. But what scientists found out from an unusually coloured sediment core collected from a seabed in West Antarctica drove them to visualise a completely different picture of the ancient world. The sediment formed 90 million years ago revealed a dense labyrinth of roots, pollens, spores and remains of a number of flowering plants of the Cretaceous period. The fossils aided the scientists to piece together 90 million year old climate and vegetation patterns of West Antarctica. Believe it or not, it was found that the coast of West Antarctica housed a soggy rainforest resembling those found in New Zealand at present, and one attribute of the mammoth climatic transition can be the CO2 cover. Though researchers strive to surprise people with even more groundbreaking discoveries of the snowy expanse, this revelation has certainly fueled the minds of geography enthusiasts to picture the area before the Ice Age. 7. Elongated skulls. Researchers dropped a bombshell in 2014 by stating that they had found 3 skulls at La Palme in Antarctica with huge craniums. While some claim that it could have been the remnants of aliens who inhabited Earth millions of years ago, researchers jumped out of their skin when similarities were found between skulls discovered from Egypt, Peru, and certain other regions. It seems that certain queer practices were adopted to enlarge the cranium by manipulation from a very young age. This was indeed a shocking disclosure, since connections between the civilizations of Africa, Antarctica, and South America suddenly began to surface, while until then it was hard to imagine humans surviving on the apathetic land. 6. Oldest sperm. Beating the record of previously found 10 million year old springtail sperm, the spermatozoa of a Cytillae, an extinct class of worms, became the oldest sample of sperm, fossilised for 50 million years. Those worms released their eggs and sperms covered in cocoons to ensure protection before reproduction. That cocoon helped in the preservation of the spermatozoa, until it was found by researchers on the Antarctic Peninsula. This discovery opened the door for identifying other cocoon fossils and has allowed the researchers to take a step more in reconstructing the faunal spectrum of Antarctica. 5. Scary creature. It is no wonder that Antarctica was a house to a large number of cryptic organisms, but time and again, the discovery of certain creatures never fails to startle us. One such fossil was unearthed by American researchers much below sea level in Antarctica. The organism was 8 feet long and was covered with protruding bones. The terrible creature also had a protruding jaw that was retractable. The unusual structure took the scientists by surprise and motivated them towards further research. They are currently trying to dig deeper into the classification and physiology of the weird creature. 4. The Nazi base. Hitler was inclined towards the occult. Therefore, it's no wonder that he once scouted the highly mysterious, icy wonder of Antarctica. There are several theories proposing that Antarctica was a hideaway for the Nazis during the war. It has even been claimed that Hitler didn't commit suicide after his defeat and fled to Antarctica. Though these have been proved wrong, it cannot be denied that he did explore Antarctica and constructed a clandestine base at a distance of 960 kilometers from the North Pole. It is believed that the Nazis' base was abandoned around 70 years ago after a tragic event in which the entire crew was wiped off after feeding on the meat of a polar bear. 3. Lake under glacier. Scientists were taken aback after finding a lake under the Ross Glacier in Antarctica. How did the water not freeze in the biting cold remained the big question. But further research found that there was not one, but hundreds of such lakes present under the glaciers in Antarctica. Due to the extreme depth, the pressure remains too high and does not allow the water to freeze. Besides, it appears the flow of heat from the mantle of the Earth contributes towards keeping the lakes in a liquid state. Scientists have had a chance to collect the water sample from the lakes and were amazed to find out the variety of microbes thriving at unimaginable depth and completely without light. This is probably the tip of the iceberg. Who knows how much more the wilderness has yet to surprise us. 2. Gambits mountain range. In 1958, while travelling across Antarctica, a group of Russian scientists observed abnormal fluctuations in gravity and went on to unearth a marvel below the thick sheets of ice. Using radar, the physical features of the mountain range were determined. The wonder spread across a length of 1,200 kilometers and rose to a height of 3,000 meters. It was named Gambutsev after Grigory Gambutsev, a Soviet geophysicist. What baffles scientists is the fact that the mountains, despite being a billion years old, have not eroded and have surprisingly stood the test of time. Even the story of their formation is yet to be uncovered. However, as per scientists, it can only be assumed that probably the frozen mantle is responsible for shielding the mountains from erosion. 1. A ship. On 5th of December 1914, Sir Ernst Shackleton's ship got trapped in the ice of Antarctica. The ship that carried Shackleton and his crew from Britain to the Southern Ocean lay there stuck for 10 months, and on 21st of November 1915, the inevitable happened. It sank. Since then, several attempts have been made to reach the sunk ship, named Endurance, but due to extreme weather conditions, expeditions have always failed. Although the exact position has been traced, reaching it is still a dream. The last attempt was made in 2019, but unfortunately, a state-of-the-art undersea drone deployed for the search got lost in the Antarctic ice. Consequently, the mission was called off. But science never fails, and neither do scientists. They are working with a strong will to find out effective alternatives, and we know we will surely find a way. With this, we have come to the end of today's video. You saw some of the most mysterious things frozen in the Antarctic ice. We have just been uncovering the underlying wonders. While some revelations clear the haze around stories of evolution, others completely set about to redefine human civilization. The vast swathes of snow, wrapped in icy winds, definitely have a million stories to tell. Comment down below if you have heard of mysterious things trapped in ice, other than those discussed in the video. For more such interesting videos, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Toodles!